So much for Rwanda and putting paid to all of this.
We've been here so many times before, haven't we? It seems just days since I was reporting that the number had hit 18,000. That's because it was less than a week ago that milestone had been reached. Now, over the weekend, 20,017. Now, that's not including those who came across yesterday. We're still waiting on the official figures to be released by the Ministry of Defence. Our producer down in Kent suggests it's probably a couple of hundred yesterday, and again this morning more.
Put it in. I mean, a lot of people will think there's a very easy solution to all of this. I mean, if there was, it would have been implemented by now. But you're talking about 20,000 people in a year. Where do they go added to who is already here? What are the repercussions of all of that? Who pays the price?
Well, this is, of course, completely separate to those who come into the country legitimately as migrants who will require accommodation. And they, of course, number in the hundreds of thousands each year. The asylum seekers who are coming in, especially across the Channel, require emergency accommodation. What is happening is that the Home Office is requisitioning a growing number of hotels. 2.5 months ago, we did a report on GBNews where we analysed the likely impact and how many rooms were being used. 30,000 hotel rooms every single day are being requisitioned.
And again, without being facetious about that, I mean, there's a lot of people who now won't get a holiday because of that.
Yeah, business travellers who can't use that hotel because what they do is they requisition the whole hotel. You don't have half asylum seekers, half open to other business. And it was 30,000 2.5 months ago. Since then, another 10,000 have crossed the Channel. So do the maths. We're up at least 6 million a day now that it's costing to house these people.
And people are asking, what are the strategies that are being employed to stop people making these journeys and to crack down on the people smugglers? Last week, there was a suggestion that the French authorities might be changing strategy. Are they actually doing that, and how much impact would it have?
Not noticeably, they're not, no. I mean, to be blunt, the policy as announced by Boris Johnson at Lyd Airport in April, where I was, three-pronged policy. We're going to get the military, the Royal Navy, in command and control of the Channel. We were going to have the Rwanda policy, where thousands could be shipped to Rwanda. And then we were going to have Linton-on-Ouse, where 1,200 people would go there initially. This would be the blueprint for other big accommodation centres. Apart from the command and control element being done by the Royal Navy, the rest, they're in tatters. Rwanda's going nowhere fast. It's mired in legal challenges. Linton-on-Ouse has now been cancelled after the Ministry of Defence pulled out the rug from under Priti Patel.
Politically, will Priti Patel pay a price for this?
I think undoubtedly. I haven't spoken to anyone that thinks that she can remain in post after the new Prime Minister takes over. Who will replace her and who will take on what is an unenviable job of trying to make some kind of impact on the thousands that are crossing every week? I don't know.
I mean, they're just going to inherit the same problems. Do you think Priti Patel has exhausted the best option she can?
Well, both candidates, interestingly, are still married to the Rwanda deal. In fact, they want to widen that out to include other countries that might be receptive to receiving asylum seekers for processing as well. But they need to get over this issue of challenges that are using European human rights legislation to stymie those efforts. Now, they say that they're going to try to enact legislation that will allow our courts to have a narrower definition of what a refugee is, so that people can't claim, for instance, right to family life as a means of remaining in this country. We'll see if that works in the fullness of time. But it's looking like it'll be at least October before they have another go at trying to send people to Rwanda. And all the time, as I say, even like this morning, 3 or 4 more boats making their way across the Channel.